You know, I'm going to stand here and tell them what to
Yeah.
do with the ribbons.
Okay. We're on Zoom now. We're going to begin our service. Please mute your devices.
John, I know some of you are distancing from each other. So if you need a different arrangement, I know you were also wearing masks around each other. If you need a different arrangement, tell us.
We're okay.
You're okay? Nobody has to feel vulnerable.
Right. We'll move if we
Okay.
take our masks off.
Okay. We'll come up here. I'm going to ask the mourners who are wearing the black ribbons to rise. And the first step is to tear the ribbon. Let me, if everyone can come under the can, well, as close as you can, but again, only as spaced as you want to be. You're going to take the ribbon and pull up in a vertical way. You're going to tear it each for yourself, pulling it up. Repeat after me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam dayan ha'emet. Praised are you, Lord our God, ruler of the universe, who is the righteous judge. Adonai Natan Adonai Lakach Yehishem Adonai Mevorah. God gives and God takes away. Praise be the name of God.
Praise be the name of God. I'm sorry.
You're good. Totally good. You can get John another reality. Yeah. You guys can take your seats.
Thank you.
Can you hear me okay over here too? Tammy, you can hear me? It's
I
clear?
can hear
Okay. Kol omer kra, va'amar ma'akra. Kol habasar chatzir, v'chol chasto, katzitz hasadeh, yavesh chatzir navel tzitz ki ruach Adonai nashva bo. Achein chatzir ha'am. Yavesh chatzir navel tzitz u'devar Eloheinu yakum li'olam. The voice says, cry out. But I ask, what shall I cry? All flesh is like grass, and all of its beauty is like the flower of the field. The grass withers, and the flower fades when a wind from God blows upon it. Surely, therefore, people are like grass. The grass withers and the flower fades, but the word of God endures forever. Mizmor leDavid Adonai roi lo etzar b'dadeshi arbitzeni al mei menachot yinaleni. Nafshi yishaved yamcheni v'magle tzedek l'man shemo. Gam ki elef b'geit salmavet lo yira ra ki ata imadi. Shiftecha u'mishantecha hema yinachamuni. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He has me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He guides me on paths of righteousness. He revives my soul for the sake of his glory. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no harm, for you are with me. Your staff and your rod, they comfort me. You set a table in sight of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall abide in the house of the Lord forever. First of all, I want you to know that if your mom were alive today, she'd make them stop that noise, because your mom could get anything done. I just want you to know, there's no way whoever's out there, they'd be gone.
And you notice I stepped in late and sat in the front row.
I got you. I got you. You know, during the later years of your mom's life, you know, she had some physical challenges in terms of getting around comfortably. And I can remember thinking several times that I guess I won't see Becky quite as much because it's just going to be tough for her to get around. And I was always wrong. because it didn't matter what ailment. Becky would find a way to get herself to shul. On the High Holy Days, or other holidays, on Shabbat. I had always known, of course, but this was yet one more proof of just how strong your mother's will was. Your mother was one strong lady. Her determination, her intensity, her passion to get things done, her will was unsurpassed. You learned early never to bet against Becky, because you would lose. She usually found a way. Correction, she always found a way. In fact, she reminds me a lot of a rabbi I used to work with. She had strong ideas, and she had the strength to stick to them and implement them. And if you had Becky on your side, she was the greatest ally. That passion really never left her. First of all, her passion for life never left her. She lived every day to its fullest. Tammy, you had said she didn't want to miss 1 minute of life. She recently was trying to learn the Zoom technology, to learn about webinars. She took courses recently to learn more about computers. You knew you could never have an advocate as effective as your mother. She always got things done. Whether it was making sure that Hebrew school picked you up where you needed to be picked up, or making sure that you had opportunities for activities as students that you needed, she got it done. But so it was for everything in her life. She gave it 100%, and perhaps because she gave 100%, she received the maximum out of life. She loved high school and college. She was very social. She made many friends. She kept many childhood friends for her entire life. She loved Brandeis, psychology major. She also loved art as a minor. As an alumnus, she would interview prospective Brandeis student candidates. She loved the academic atmosphere, the teachers, the learning, anything and everything cultural she loved, writing, the humanities, and she went to college at the age of 16. She was very bright, very intelligent. Later, after college, she brought that same intensity, that same effort to teaching. She loved teaching, and although she stopped to raise all of you, she did teach English as a second language and brought her passion and devotion to that classroom and to those students. She wanted you to see those kids. Ariel, you remember, she took you there to see them, to see their challenges, to show all of you that not everyone has the same advantages in life. In order to make all of you, her children, more sophisticated and more aware and more sensitive to people. There was no way for Becky to do anything halfway or to feel anything halfway. That's the way she was as a mother. She loved everything about synagogue life, even to the end. Whether it was her youngest years or her growing up years, her adult years, Park Synagogue was her home. It was her identity. It was her family. It was her entire orientation. Of course, growing up in a rabbinic family, she appreciated and she understood the public nature of that identity, and she owned it. She was very much comfortable. She was proud.
Welcome to Zoom. Enter your meeting ID followed by pound.
Somebody may be dialing in on us.
Enter your participant ID followed by pound.
Bart, actually, somebody's evidently trying to dial in.
You are in the meeting now. There are more than 50 participants in the meeting. This meeting is being recorded.
I guess somebody dialing in on the phone may be able to get you could mute them. I don't know. You okay? We'll give it a shot. They were very, in your family, they're strong personalities, but she was very proud of her parents, identified very much with their core values. And she always encouraged you to spend time with your grandparents, which you all did. I want you to, if I were going into battle, some warriors would try to choose the proper weapons. I wouldn't worry about the weapon. I'd want Becky next to me. Stories of her strength of will would present themselves to me from time to time. The greatest tales were from the High Holy Days, when occasionally you would have a new usher who who had the bad luck of not knowing Becky. And Becky, of course, would never bring her ticket with her. And I would see the usher explain to her how she really couldn't enter the sanctuary without a ticket. I would see the conversation begin in the back, and then I would momentarily turn away because like I was running the service. But I knew when I would turn back moments later, I would see Becky right under my nose in the first row with a look of pride in her face, which is when she would then give me permission to deliver my sermon. She also threw all of her passion into marriage when she met your dad. She was 100% devoted. There's no one like your dad, she would tell you. He was the one. Their connection was very strong. He had met her when she was singing in a choir locally, and I guess you could say they took off as a couple, and they were flying, but that's because Charles took her flying in their first date. But she stayed up there with him, always. They had Wednesdays and Saturdays to go out together, go to parties and with friends. By themselves, they loved going out to eat. They traveled together extensively, and she always wanted all of you to travel. It was her maybe metaphor to extend your boundaries, to increase your knowledge of the world, to enhance yourselves. She wanted you to live your life to its fullest as well. When Charles earned the opportunity to go down to Florida to be head of the VA, this was a great opportunity, and yet it was also a shared opportunity. And Becky was excited about it and liked it in Florida, but of course she always maintained a fondness and a closeness to her Cleveland identity. She loved so much of her life with all of her heart. All of you, of course, the extended family, her lifelong friends, her learning, her teaching. And also, she loved Debbie so very much, 100%. She admired her sister. She admired the creativity of her sister. And when you give so much, you hurt so much. This pain was the toughest pain of her life, a pain that she rarely, if ever, spoke of. Someone like your mom who experienced life so intensely, this was unbearable. She did establish an art scholarship at Brandeis. I know you mentioned that as much as they traveled, your mother always managed to avoid Spain as a destination. But going in these later years, perhaps she came to some closure. And of course, being with all of you, being with her grandkids, provided her with the greatest of joys in her life. Ilana, you were sitting there yesterday with photos of the family all around. The message was very clear. What gave your mother the most joy and the most happiness? I know that in these later years, Becky and Sam worked on a speakers program in honor of your grandparents at the synagogue. And I know that Becky and Sam were very far apart in years. I mean, she was much older than me. He used to joke when he was a little boy, he would ask who that lady is upstairs, you know, when is she coming back to visit? But I know, I saw it. I know that through this recent project and other shared moments, there was a greater appreciation for each other and a greater affection, which made it even more of a shock when Sam passed on. In the end, she was proud of all of you. Yes, due to her strength and her passion, you each individually had to negotiate your own independence as you became adults, as we all have to do from our parents. And you did. Jonathan, I understood you literally rescued your mom from Florida during this pandemic. You were able to do this good mitzvah for her, flew her back to Cleveland in a plane. And yes, I'm sure she's probably telling you how to fly the plane during the course of the season. Listen, it's not easy for any parent. It was not easy for your mother, for you all to grow up. But in looking at how each of you found your own way, she clearly had a lot of pride. And she mentioned it. She had a lot of pride in your accomplishments. As you all became parents, adults, you each inherited some of her strength. Becky was a rabbi's daughter. She was a doctor's wife. She was also a teacher, a homemaker, a mother and grandmother, a devoted Jew, a lover of culture, of art, of humanities, a lover of people, an extreme extrovert, as you put it. A human being who suffered her own losses and relished her joys. A passionate and fiercely devoted and independent and motivated person who lived each day of life to its fullest. She lived with a good name, and she dies with a good name. I'm going to ask members of the family, whoever is first in the order.
Eldest first, I suppose. I'm just gonna say a few words, but I couldn't get a printer to work this morning, so I have to pull it up on my phone, which I took a picture of it. Just a moment. So I'd like to speak about the aspect of my mom that I try to emulate every day, and that is her utter delight in the beauty of this world. The deep pleasure that she took in God's gifts to our physical senses. She delighted in the natural world. She would comment how glorious a sunset is, or those gorgeous flowers, oh, those colors, or how she swam in every body of water she encountered. From the frigid waters of a river in Eastern Europe to the barracuda-infested waters of the Amazon River. Yes, she did that.
Yeah.
Yes, she did. She delighted in classical music, especially the Cleveland Orchestra. She loved Beethoven's Third Symphony, the Eroica. It would move her to tears. And I can recall after attending certain concerts with the Cleveland Orchestra, especially if they had seen a pianist, she would comment how, oh really, you would have loved it. You should have seen his hands, they flew, and his whole body hopped up and down. And she would just relish the experience of getting to hear a musician play with Cleveland Orchestra. She also truly appreciated fine art. As a child, I remember traipsing through every museum in Europe, spending seemingly endless hours waiting outside with my father, as she took her time to fully admire and take in the works of the masters. She loved the Impressionist painters, especially such as Monet and his lilies. And she'd say again, those glorious soft colors, you should have stayed and seen it. And she referred many times over the years to a particular painting called Girls at the Piano by Renoir, because it reminded her of us when we were young. My mom traveled the world with us, exclaiming her joyful observations of absolutely everything, seeming to need to experience it all everywhere. She always has and always will inspire me to notice God's gifts and to hunger for more, to delight in this glorious universe every single day. And as I was getting ready to come here, I came across some jewelry in my jewelry box, and I'm wearing a pearl necklace that she gave me, she and my father, and I found I had saved the note. It's dated August 17, 1983. Dearest Ariel, we hope you will treasure these culture pearls as much as we treasured showing you the Orient for your 20th birthday. Enjoy them always in good health. Love, Mother and Dad. You did a great job, Mom. You set me up to appreciate life every single day. And I do. I love you. Did I move it?
Yeah.
Thank you. You guys are making me. Oh, that's funny. That's what I brought here too. And I have a story about pearls. You'll see. I do anything.
I hope you don't mind if I take off my mask so I can speak a little more clearly. I just want to also notice that while we're here, it's just, I know Mom feels so connected to her parents and to Dad, and that they're here, and his sister and her sister, and that it's comforting to know that they're together, and that is a comfort to me. Two things I want to talk about. One is that when my mom was 18 years old, she got on a boat and took a boat all the way to Israel and got hepatitis C along the way. And the point is not the hep C. The point is that was Mom. She was so full of adventure. She just wanted to go. And then for her honeymoon, she and my dad in 1961 went to China, which is not Hawaii, in case we don't know. But that was her spirit. And in her 80s, she got on a cruise and went to Dubai. And that to me says so much about Mom's adventurous, her lifelong spirit of adventure. She loved learning about other people. She loved the people that she met, the places that she went. She had an eye for photography, and she would always take photos everywhere she went of these beautiful photos that we would look through of her travels. And one of the things that I remember about her, besides her adventure, is how she loved to surprise people and to be surprised. She was a surpriser. So my first taste of this was I was in the 5th grade, and I was in the 6th grade choir. I was very excited to be in the 6th grade choir, and my mom told me that she wasn't going to be able to make it, and I was disappointed, but I sang anyway. And as I'm singing, I stopped for a moment singing because there was my mother in the audience. Of course she was there. She wanted to surprise me, as she did also when I was in a musical at Penn, and showed up during one of my shows, and I look out in the audience and there's Mom sitting in the audience. So she was a surpriser. And when I met Steve, and it was my birthday, she came out to Seattle, and we were walking to a restaurant, and I said to Steve, hey, that woman is wearing a shirt just like my mom would wear. Of course, it was my mom. And she went to my uncle's 50th birthday party with my dad dressed as the Coneheads, and walked in to surprise them without telling them they were coming, and nobody knew who they were. So she really loved to surprise people. But mostly I think that shows her big love, and the love she gave and received from us, and that she gave to Dad and received from all of us, her kids and her grandkids. And her love was so big that it's hard to contain it. So simply to end, I want to just sing a song that she used to sing to us in the car, and that she would sing with Dad in harmony. And I would love it if you guys would sing with me if you want to. Okay. Tell me why the stars do shine. Tell me why the ivy twines. Tell me why the sky's so blue. Then I will tell you just why I love you. Because God made the stars to shine. Because God made the ivy twine. Because God made the sky so blue. Because God made you, that's why I love you.
Oof. So the day has not gone exactly how I thought it would, but it is all okay because I wrote some stuff down and I'm gonna go. Anyway, so this jacket is the most stupid jacket that you could ever, and this, it's okay to call it stupid, and I'll tell you why. Because this is a random jacket that my mother has flown all around the country, and it is, doesn't mean anything. I don't know, it probably does, we'll find out later, but the point is, it's not permanent. It has impermanence, so we're gonna give that back to John. And we're done with this. This is not any kind of a show, this is just the way it is. It's a picture from Grandma. Okay, and I'm gonna need to go in a second because my son is crying. So I'll be short, but anyway, this right here is a picture of a dog. Happy thoughts coming your way. Totally random. But it's written in my mom's handwriting. The words, maybe they don't matter. I don't know. But I got to be quick because my son is crying. It's okay. So on the back is, it's the American Heart Association. It's a random charity. I don't know, but I brought it with me. And this was something that my mom always remembered, was birthdays and writing. And she always had my address. Everyone else in the time of COVID, they like, how do you do that? So I got it. This was from last Mother's Day, by the way. And the flowers are from Trader Joe's. So permanence and importance is killing me because I'm a Jew and I'm mixed up and I can't do things right and I look weird because I'm not wearing the right clothes and colors and okay, we're done. And I'm trying to do everything right, which is the story of me. So anyway, I wanted to just, in closing, read. It's a poem that I wrote. And I'm going to breathe here. Forest means yar in Hebrew, I think. Anyway, things change gradually. My mom, Yaya girl, it is not humanly possible to sum up my mom in a few minutes. She is my heart. She is my God, as I will be. Not as my God. She is with God, as I will be. I will walk forward. All of us will. Let go, and God will guide you. I was so blessed to be with you. Flowers and hugs forever.
So I brought with me this fleece jacket that my mom left in my plane, and I kept forgetting. Well, she left the plane. She called me and said, "Please send it. Please send it." She called me repeatedly, and I kept forgetting, and I feel bad about that. I never got around to it, so I brought it now, and I'm going to leave it at her house. She wants it. So better late than never. My mother loved her family. She was so proud of her family, more than anything, really. She boasted about her family, about us, and about me. And for me, knowing how proud she was of us was really, it gave me great comfort at different times in my life. It gave me confidence. And for that, I am forever grateful. My mother believed in God. She was a child of God. And Judaism teaches us that every person is made in the image of God. And when God made Mom, he made one of a kind. I love you, Mom. I will miss you. And most of all, I hope that you are at peace and reunited with Dad and all the others that you loved and missed.
Let's rise for the memorial prayer. El Mole Rachamim, Shochen Bamromim, Hamatzei Menucha Nechona, Tachat Kanfei Hashchina, B'malot Kedoshim, Utehorim, Kazor Rakia Masirim, Et Nishmat Rivka Bat Avram Moshe, Shahal Lama, Began Eden Teheminukata, Honorable Harachamim Hastireha, Betseter Knafecha Leolamim, Utror Bitzrachem et Nishmata, Adonai Hu Nafalata, Betanuach Bishalom Amishkava, Benamar Amen. May we remember all of the worthy deeds that she performed in the land of the living. May she rest in peace. And we all say amen. We're now going to create some space here for our helpers at the cemetery. We're going to lower the casket. משפטי צדק האמת ועורך דיין האמת שכל משפטיו צדק האמת נפש חי בידיך צדק מלא ימינך רחם על פליטות צאן ידיך ותמר למעל חרביך להגיד כי אשר אדוני צורי ולא עוולה תבוא אדוני נתן ואדוני לקח יהי שם אדוני מברך ולו רחום יכפר עוון ולא ישחית ורבו להשיבתו ולא יאר כל חמתו על מקומה תבוא בשלום. ישוב העפר על הארץ כשהיה, הרוח תשוב אל אלוהים אשר נתנה. The dust returns to the earth as it was. The soul returns to God who gave it. Grant strength and comfort to those who are mourning. Adonai Natan, Adonai Lakach, Yehi Shem Adonai Mevorach. God gives and God takes away. Blessed be the name of God. If you'd like to participate in this final mitzvah, consider it an act of great respect and peace. We'll take a few moments for people to take a shovelful or a handful of earth in this case. And then we're going to say the Kaddish. Anyone else would like to come forward? Sure, let's go ahead. Now I'll ask the mourners to come back under and we're going to recite the mourners Kaddish. I think your cards, you have some on your chairs here. Okay, if you'll turn to your cards, we'll recite. Let's see one that's on the ground. You may not need it, it's right on the ground. Okay, we're going to begin together on 3, 1, 2, and 3. Yitgadal, Yitgadash, Shemei Rabbah, Yalma, Dibrach, Yirutei, Yamlit, Malchutei, V'chayei Hon, V'yomei Hon, Hayei, the whole Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'izman kari v'maru amen. Yehi shemei rabba mevarach olam u'maya. Yitarach v'yishtabach v'yithalar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yithalev v'yithalal shemei kudesha b'rithu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushkavata v'netamata damiran v'yoma v'yamaru amen. Yehi shalom rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael yimaru amen. Oseh shalom b'romah hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael yimaru. To the mourners, I want to say, Hamakom yinachem etchem b'toch she'ar be'letzion v'Yerushalayim. May God comfort you mourning with us today, together with all others mourners in the house of Israel and in all the world. And we all say amen. Services are now concluded.
This concludes our Zoom broadcast. Thank you.